Good day everyone and welcome to Exile News, the weekly show that brings you all the important news and informations on Path of Exile. Starting the week with the end of the Arch Nemesis League, which happens on the 10th of May at 3 PM PDT. That's, well, the time that you can convert. The reveal has been at 1 PM PDT, so you can easily convert that. And for consoles, it happens exactly when the next league starts, which generally is 1 week later than usual. Also, there's going to be a new episode of Baeclast, the podcast that's hosted by Turkey Cat, and well, it will have some other streamers coming in, like RescueT, Nugian, Octavian, and Ziggy D, and well, the special guest is going to be the developer Chris Wilson. So if you haven't had a chance to hear him speaking yet, definitely recommended because he's really good. He knows how to speak to the public. He's definitely quite interesting to hear, and well, he's got some very nice and in-depth knowledge of the game, though he usually also has his game designer next to him for the most technical questions. And this podcast is happening on the 9th, which is tomorrow, so definitely check it out if you have the chance, but also don't worry because it is going to be posted on YouTube and Twitch and everything else. So yeah, if you miss it, you will definitely be able to get it later on. And we also got some new divination cards. It's been a while since we had some of those, and there's a lot of interesting stuff in there. The most notable one is going to be Mage Blood, obviously. And well, I mean, this card is going to be extremely rare. It's going to be quite important to see where this drops, and people will target farm that, just like people target farms Burial Chambers for the Headhunter one. And well, a lot of other interesting cards, and the artworks for some of those are absolutely amazing as usual. Definitely really nice stuff. And finally, we had the Sentinel announcement this week, and this was just the previous page. So this is the full page. Of course, you can watch the trailer, you can watch the full Sentinel content reveal, which is the same as going on Twitch on the Path of Exile channel and checking the VOD. There's also some news outlets down here, which I'm not even going to read this time because it doesn't really make any changes whatsoever. You can actually check the patch notes here if you want to see more about that. Actually, are these the full patch notes? Yes, they are. So really nice to see the patch notes already coming in. Some changes might happen, but definitely check those out if you want to know more about some specific details. One thing that we'll talk about is the fact that there's no balance changes this time. So yeah, maybe that's why patch notes are out so early. Anyway, the landing page for Sentinel, well, basically Sentinels are ancient constructs that have been unearthed across Baeclast. What happens is you find these Sentinels, you put them in the slots that you have in your inventory, which are new slots, and you can have starting from 1 to up to 3 of those later in the game. And basically you activate them at certain times and they empower enemies. The enemies are stronger but can have rewards based on what is said on this one. And well, that's pretty much the game, that's pretty much the league. You also have a special 3 for these types of Sentinels, because there's 3 types of Sentinels. You can see the yellow, the red, and the blue ones. They do different stuff, and you can empower each one of those. And well, the good thing is that you can remove freely. You can change this layout freely whenever you want. The bad news is that there's no presets, and you cannot save your path, so you have to do that manually every time. So if you really want to optimize for all of those in a map, you probably will have to change it on the fly, which is going to be really annoying, and that's just the type of thing that GGG does. You have to exchange your time for the best power options that you have, and that's pretty much how it should be. Otherwise, it would be too easy. And well, that's the usual GG design there. Also, when you deplete these things, because as you can see at the bottom there's a bar, and that's the number of fuses it has. So when you get 2 of those and they are depleted, you can fuse them, as you can see in this image, and you get one new one which maybe has the mixed mod of the 2, maybe it has something new, so you can get something really good, or just something out of the ones that you have actually depleted. So this is a way to continue using your Sentinels, and depending on how much you use them, you can definitely save them for better times, or just go for really just go broke and use them all of the time. The thing is, you might be able to gain some really rewarding Sentinels, and you can already see that far late in the game. Some people will juice their maps to be improved with Sentinels. Maybe you have triple beyond, and then you pop a Sentinel that hits all the rare monsters or unique monsters, and have just a feast of drops. That's definitely what's going to happen. There's also unique Sentinels for those who will be able to get those. And some of those are quite interesting, like this one that empowers a very specific single enemy. That's Suncolor Asha, for example, in this example here. And well, it drops a lot of currency, so it's kind of interesting. Some I'm not gonna say build defining, but definitely gameplay defining if you want to use those. I do suspect though that it's going to be more of a chore than anything, and people will just pop them casually, like Arch Nemesis for example, and the most efficient way to play will be just normal play, I guess. You can also fuse, just like the Sentinels, you can fuse items with these new core things, recombinators, and you can get some incredible things like these belts. Like, you can fuse items for fusing the mods and then gain additional mods that you can only get this way, but most of the time you will just see trash as usual, because crafting is completely random anyway in this game. So anyway, GGG has also added new keystones on the Atlas skill tree. For example, this one, increasing the damage done by monsters but reducing their life. There's also the opposing one, which decreases the monster's damage but increases the life. And well, some of these keystones are definitely going to be impacting in your gameplay and impacting the economy. There's some really crazy one, like this one, which basically randomizes the crafting options and the scarab supplying to your maps, which will make a market for the scarabs that are really trash, because it's always going to be a different scarab than those. So definitely impacting the game, both for the players and for the player base as a whole. So this is going to be interesting. At least GGG is improving on this, and hopefully these keystones are going to be impactful and not just broken or useless. There's also new pinnacle, uber pinnacle bosses, really big and very hard. GG say that these fights are really hard, and they say that multiple times, so I do expect those fights to be extremely hard. And as such, they can drop extremely good items like awakened exceptional gems, which have one more level to them, and more unique items which are really huge. Like this one is said to allocate a whole new ascendancy if you get those, which is absolutely crazy. And I don't know about having ascendancies locked behind these kind of things, but I guess it will work out. There's also new unique items, mostly designed by expert players this time, and winners of races, of course, like Darky and Lighty and those kind of guys. And well, these are going to be extremely hard to get items, and well, mostly dropping from the very end game bosses. So well, it's not going to be easy to see those items, but they are going to be kind of build defining in a way. So at least they're going to be interesting if you ever get to get one of those. Also, well, there's going to be the usual race to kill the new monsters happening in the hardcore solo self-found Sentinel League, starting of course as soon as the league starts. And well, honestly, I kind of feel like this league is better to be watched than played. I don't feel really very hyped about the league itself, and the changes all are kind of like going towards the end of the game, the very late end game, trying to increase the time needed to get to the end game, which just gets, well, I mean, more boring, honestly. As we said about the character balance earlier, there's not going to be any balance whatsoever this time. which means that streamers will be able to start with the favorite builds that they already know they are really good, going in for the race to kill the uber pinnacle bosses. And well, one thing that's actually interesting, depending on how you take it, is the fact that Arch Nemesis is going to be replacing the older blue and yellow monsters mods that there were. So for example, as you can see, this blue pack here has the vampiric mod, and well, I mean, for those who haven't played the Arch Nemesis League, this might be a bit confusing at first, but it might actually be interesting. So I'm gonna hold my judgment until I play and see how this turns out. I can definitely see some rare monsters be extremely annoying if you get the wrong combination of mods on them. Also, if you get like a blue pack with, for example, the Ice Prison, and you just get stuck and shotgunned instantly, yeah, that is going to be extremely annoying, and I can also see some complaints on that. But anyway, you can also play on controller, as the full controller options are basically unleashed in there. I mean, I say that weirdly, but what I mean is just that controllers is coming out of beta and pretty much fully functional on PC as well. I plan to play with controller because honestly that's the only reason I plan to play the new league anyway. And there's going to be some quality of life feature. A couple have been shown. For example, adding your favorite maps on the list is now much easier. Also, it's also much easier to, as you can see here, to grant portal access in your hideout to different party members, friends, or whatever suits you. There's going to be more of those revealed in the coming week, so this is definitely something I'm hyped for, because quality of life is one of the biggest features that the game can have. Challenges are also going to change, and well, this is one of the things I don't really like too much. GGG is pushing more and more towards the end game, more and more towards time sinks into the game. I mean, yeah, it makes sense for them, makes it boring for me. Thing is, they are going to condense the challenges, so that rather than unlocking at 12 and 24, now the equivalents are unlocked at 6 and 12, meaning the remaining challenges up towards 40 are going to be pushing much further than usual. They say much harder, but it's going to be much longer in terms of time, because honestly, most of the difficulty of the game is just time consumption and efficiency in the gameplay. So yeah, that's how it's gonna be. There's going to be more rewards like this awesome set, which you're not gonna see unless you play basically your whole life into the game, which it's not something that most people have access to. There's also going to be a new Kirax Vault if you're interested. Well, I mean, that's if you want to support the game, of course, just like the new supporter packs, which are definitely really cool. And again, if you want support of the game, this is definitely one of the best ways, both in terms of money for GGG and in terms of actual stuff that you get for your own money. So yeah, I guess that was all. And I don't know, I'm not really hyped for this league. It's just one transitional league towards the next big expansion that's going to be. But still, the hype is not really there for me, and it's fine. I've been playing for a very long time. I might just skip the league. And well, it's still definitely really interesting, and it's again probably very interesting to watch on the Twitch channels for the new race, and to see all of the types of monsters that GG has added and the new encounters that they added, which are probably going to be really interesting. The hype is going to be there one way or another. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I guess it was all for this week, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment down below. Also, if you want to remain updated every week, be sure to subscribe to my channel. That was all. I've been your host Giorgio, and I'll see you guys the next time.